In this video, you will see how to use the underlay feature to help position objects in a plan view. I have the exercise file plan underlay open, and we need to place some skylights on the roof of this building. So to do this, I'll open the roof floor plan view from the project browser. The skylights need to be aligned with the corridor that's between the apartments on the level below the roof. So to help us do this, we'll use the underlay feature, which allows us to see the plan of a different level within this view. So let's go to the properties palette, and on the underlay panel here, we can see we have the range base level parameter, and we'll set this to level 3. And now this is applied in the view, we can see the layout of the walls in the level 3 plan view. As we zoom in, we can see that they're greyed out slightly as the underlay is set to be in halftone, and we can't actually select the objects in the underlay, although this is because we have the underlay selection toggled off. So we'll go down to the status bar in the corner here, and we can see here the select underlay elements toggle, and I'll click on it to switch it on, and now we can see that we can select those objects that are in the underlay on level 3. Although to prevent any accidental editing of those objects, I'll go back to the status bar and we'll toggle this so that we cannot select them anymore. So now to place the skylights above the corridor here, we'll go to the Architecture ribbon tab, and from the Build panel, we'll click on the Window tool, as the skylights belong to the Window category. From the type selector, we can see we have the Skylight Pyramid family selected, and we'll change it to be the 36 by 84 inch type. And now we can come over to the view, and at the bottom of the corridor here, we can just click to place one approximately in the center. So now we have the first one placed. I'll click Modify to finish the Window tool. And now we'll go to the Annotate ribbon tab. From the Dimensions panel here, we'll click Align Dimension. So to begin, I'll pick the vertical center of the skylight, and then we can pick the wall on either side of the corridor here. And now we'll place this dimension down above the skylight, and then I'll pick on the equality toggle here to set those dimensions equal, which will then position the skylight in the middle of that corridor. Now we'll place a second dimension, so we'll get the horizontal center of the skylight, and then we'll pick the reference of the curtain wall below, and then we can place this dimension on the right hand side. So now I'll click Modify to finish placing dimensions, and I'll pick on the skylight. And now we can edit the dimension that we just placed on the side here, and we'll change its value to be 6 feet. So now that we have that in the correct location, I'll select the two dimensions. And from the Modify ribbon tab, we'll click on the Delete tool to clear those dimensions from the view. And now in the warning, which is letting us know that we had an EQ constraint, we'll click Unconstrain so that the skylight is no longer constrained to the walls. Now we need to copy the skylight along the corridor, so I'll select it, and from the Modify Windows ribbon tab here, on the Modify panel, we'll click the Array tool. And now, looking at the options bar, we can see that the Group and Associate is unselected. And the number is currently 2, so we'll change this to 4. And we have it set to move to second. So now I'll pick a start point in the view and start to move it vertically upwards. And we'll type in a distance of 12 feet. And once we've entered that, we can see those 4 skylights arrayed along the length of that corridor. So now, having placed those skylights, we'll go back to the Properties palette, and from the Underlay panel here, we'll change the range base level back to none. And now we can see that we have just the roof plan with the skylights in the correct location. So now I'll go to the project browser and I'll open up the street floor plan view. This floor plan is obviously lower down at street level. However, when designing at this level, we may need to place rainwater pipes or design landscaping that takes account of objects that are higher up the building. So we'll go to the properties palette, and in the underlay panel, we'll change the range base level to be the roof level. And then we can see now that that brings in our roof, and we can see the skylights here. However, looking a little bit closer, there is a roof over the stairs in this corner here. and that's actually associated with level 3. So in the properties palette, we'll change the range base level to be level 3, and we can see that the top level beneath this is set to be unbounded, so it will still look at the roof level 2. And when we apply this, we can now see that we have the roof over the stairs as well as the skylights and the main roof above. And that makes it easier now for us to accurately consider these objects when we're working down at the street level. And that now completes applying the underlays to our plan views.